What's up, everybody? This is Johnny Basement. We are back here in the basement for another round of Johnny Basement in the NFL. Today we are going into is Daniel Jones elite? Is this man an elite quarterback? We're going in for the Giants today. Giant fans, Giant diehards. The Giants are my second favorite team. Before we get into this anyway, subscribe, bell notice. Hit the like button. Keep this basement rolling. We're aiming for 5,000 subs right now. We're a little over 2,400. Thanks to you all. Much appreciated. Much appreciated, guys, as you can already see. Man, right in there. Joe Klecko, Darrelle Revis this weekend. More Jets in the Hall of Fame. Two of the greatest at their positions. Of course, Lawrence Taylor, the greatest. Just a sidebar here, guys. The sack exchange and Lawrence Taylor are the reasons, a major reason. You can look this up and not even be in New York biased. You can look this up. Both of them were the absolute reason why sacks became a stat in 1982. The sack exchange, Lawrence Taylor, a big reason why they had to start recording sacks as an actual statistic. Look it up. There you go. And Micah Parsons, you are not Lawrence Taylor. We're going to have a whole video on that. That's going to be a whole separate topic. When he said that he doesn't understand the comparisons, meaning Lawrence Taylor shouldn't be compared to him because Lawrence Taylor couldn't cover Saquon Barkley. Comments like that, we're going to get into that in a whole nother video. That's not for now. That's not for now, and I know you Giant diehards are upset about that. Now, let's get back to Daniel Jones. He just got a 4-year, $160 million contract. 4 years, $160 million contract. We already know Saquon had to basically sign a glorified franchise tag, but we know basically it's glorified. But he's on the team. This isn't even about who should have been the one signed. I'm going to have a whole video on that involving running backs. We're going to do that another day. But as we know, 4 years, $160 million for Daniel Jones. Why? Why would they do that? A lot of people ask, why would the Giants do that? There's Giant fans that are saying, why would they do that? Why would they give Daniel Jones the money? What has he done? We didn't want him, right? We didn't want another Duke quarterback. Remember Dave Brown? Remember Dave Brown, Giant fans? Dave Brown out of Duke, drafted in 1992, I believe. Played for the Giants, and then he went to the Cardinals. I think he was like 23-30 for the Giants. I wrote it down. He was 23-30 for the Giants, 44 touchdowns to 58 interceptions. Is it fair to say Daniel Jones is going to be another guy like that? No. But it's another Duke quarterback, right? That's what the Giants did. All the Giant fans wanted Dwayne Haskins. God rest his soul. God rest his soul. Rest in peace, Dwayne Haskins. At the time, though, why wouldn't you have wanted Dwayne Haskins, right? Ohio State quarterback, more competitive games. The guy's got it going on. Versatile quarterback. Bring him to the Giants. That's who Giant fans wanted. They didn't get him. Got Daniel Jones. Dave Gettleman right now somewhere is smiling over Andrew Thomas. Remember, he got ripped for getting Andrew Thomas when Mekhi Becton and a couple, was out there. And he went with Andrew Thomas. Who's the winner in that one now? Even I got to admit that, man. I would take Andrew Thomas all day right now. And now Daniel Jones. Looking pretty good. Last year was pretty good. Why is that? Brian Dable have a lot to do with that, maybe? Finally got the right coaching in there, maybe? No more Pat Shurmur. I mean, after Tom Coughlin retired from the Giants, you bring in Ben McAdoo, who ruined Eli Manning's consecutive streak, even though he said he could start in that game. Even though he said he could start, but Geno was going to finish the game. Ben McAdoo. Wow. Pat Shurmur. You make Tom Coughlin retire, and these are the coaches that you bring in. Giants have had it rough. Giants have had a run. They had the good old Joe Judge. Good old Joe Judge. Well, he really worked out well for Daniel Jones, right? And for Mac Jones as well. Don't worry, Matt Patricia. We didn't forget about you. Helping out in that. Joe Judge. Patriot fans will tell you, oh, well, Giants never fielded a team for him. Oh, yeah? Not only did he leave, he took Peppers with him. Brian Dable comes in basically coaching the same team. Oh, look at that. They made the divisional round of the playoffs. Wow. Look at that. Made the second round. Same team. Brian Dable comes in. They have pretty much Daniel Jones on a prove-it year. That's the word I just call it, a prove-it year. But what do you think they saw in Brian? What do you think Brian Dable and company saw? You think this was Daniel Jones' first great year as a Giant? Was it his first really impressive year as a Giant? What do you think he saw in him that said, hey, let's see what we got in this kid before we sign him long term? Now, you have the stats right here. I have some few stats right here. The Giants draft quarterbacks over time, and they let them develop over time. We live in an era right now where everybody has to be Patrick Mahomes right off the bat, who, by the way, did sit behind Alex Smith for a year. Rodgers sat behind Favre for 3 years. These guys are thrown right in. Now, the last two guys that let develop, Phil Simms, right? Phil Simms, he developed. I have him right here. Phil Simms, 1979. Started 12 games. What was his first year? 1,743 yards, 6-5 record. 13 touchdowns to 14 picks. Look at that. How many years before he won the Super Bowl? Almost 7. 1979 to 1986. He didn't have some great years in the beginning. Look at his second year, 1980, 3-10. Now, I know it takes a whole team. Guys, to lose the game. But we all know it. Who does it ultimately fall on? The head coach and the quarterback. Right, wrong, or indifferent, that's who it falls on. So look at Phil Simms. They let him develop. 3-10 his second year. 2,300 yards, 15 touchdowns, 19 picks. Took him a few years before he started rolling. Took him a few years. Man, it took him 1984 to get his first 4,000-yard season. Then he rolled after that. Phil Simms is a Giants legend. He didn't start out that way. We already know the story with Eli. He didn't start out that way either. Everybody expected Peyton Manning right off the bat. Everybody expected Eli to be Peyton Manning right off the bat. And he took over for Kurt Warner. Yes, remember Kurt Warner? Hall of Fame quarterback. Took over for Trent Green when Trent Green got hurt in the preseason. We're going to go with Iowa. I think it was the Iowa Barnstormers of the Arena League that he played for, and he was stocking groceries, right? He's going to be our guy. And he was the guy, right? With the Rams, greatest show on turf. He was the guy in Arizona under Dennis Green. We are who we thought they were. Remember that? That was that season. Matt Leinart played in that game. Kurt Warner was really brought in to groom Matt Leinart and ended up taking him to the Super Bowl. That Kurt Warner. I believe the Giants were 5-4 at the time when Eli took over. Somewhere around there. Giant fans, you can correct me. I'm close. I think they were 5-4. But Tom Coughlin said, hey, let's get this, let's get the future rolling. Let's get Eli in there. Look at Eli's record. Started 7 games, 1-6. 1,043 yards. 6 touchdowns and 9 picks. Yeah. Look at his second year. 11-5. 3,700 yards. He came around a lot faster than Phil Simms did. A lot faster than Daniel Jones did, sort of. What do I mean, sort of? This is probably what Brian Dable and company saw. Daniel Jones' first season as a Giant started 12 games. Record is horrible, 3-9. Look at his yards, 3,027, 24 touchdowns and 12 picks. 87.7 quarterback rating. Completed 61% of his pitch, just about 62, 61.9. You know the interesting thing about Daniel Jones, and I learned this too. You know how many Giants rookie records he holds? Giants rookie records. Got him right here. Look at this. Most games started by a Giant rookie, 12. Oh, big deal, Johnny. Wow, most games started. Okay, well, how about most completions for a Giants rookie, 284. Most pass attempts, 459. He had the highest completion percentage in his rookie season, 61.9%. Better than Simms or Eli Manning. 2 Super Bowl champions. Most passing yards, 3,027. Most passing touchdowns in his rookie season, 24. Best passer rating for any Giants rookie, 87%. 87.7 passer rating. Most passing yards per game, 232 on average. Most fourth quarter comebacks, that's funny, he had 1. So what does that tell you about the other Giants rookie quarterbacks? None of them ever came back in the fourth quarter in their rookie year. He did it once. That's a record. Once. Oh, he's tied with 6 other players. All right, I take that back. We're in the basement. That's why that happens. Well, I didn't read the whole thing. Most game-winning drives, 2. That is his. Most game-winning drives, 2. Rookie season. Now, in 2020, he had the longest quarterback run, 80 yards. Well, we know Simms and Eli Manning weren't runners. But just stone all the Giants that had been there, he had the longest quarterback run. They did have Fran Tarkenton at one time. He was a running quarterback. Fran Tarkenton, he was older, yes, but I'm just saying. Just throwing that out there. First quarterback with 2,500 yards and 400 rushing yards in a single season in 2020 as well. Wow. And first quarterback with 200 yards passing and 100 yards rushing in a single game. For all these records are for the Giants. Now that's the only Giants record that happened under Dable last year. Oh yeah, Daniel Jones has a couple of NFL records too. Most passing touchdowns in a single game. He tied 4 others with 5. 5 touchdown passes in 2019 against the Washington Redskins. 5. That's a lot, man. A lot. He was the first rookie to have 3 games with 4 touchdowns with no interceptions. 3 games with 4 touchdowns and no interceptions. That's an NFL record, let alone a Giants record, an NFL record. And finally, the Minnesota Viking game. 300 yards, 2 passing touchdowns, 70-plus yards rushing. Guys, Daniel Jones, is he elite? I think on his way to being one of the elite quarterbacks is fair to say. Is he a top 10 quarterback in the game? Oh, yeah, you better believe he is. He's definitely a top 10 quarterback in the game. Top 10. So really, by the Giants taking Daniel Jones and everybody's so upset about it, now I get the Dwayne Haskins argument. I get that at the time. I get it. What quarterbacks came after him? Drew Lock? Will Greer? Who, Johnny? Who? Will Greer? Ryan Finley? There was another one in there. I have it written down. I wrote it down. Oh, yeah, Gardner Minshew. He was probably the best out of that pack that was picked after Daniel Jones. So of those remaining quarterbacks picked after Daniel Jones, he was the best one. And he looks really good. The Giants are an organization that let things develop, as I just showed you with Sims and Eli Manning. That's not the Dave Brown. Obviously, he did not develop. They went through a little funny mix there after Phil Sims. You had Dave Brown, and I'm going off the top of my head. Kent Graham. Kent Graham was another one. Remember him? It's like the Giants playing ping pong with him, going back and forth with the Cardinals. You take him. No, you take him. Oh, you take him. But the Giants overall let their quarterbacks develop over time because they want to develop into winners. And when they have the right coaching staff, Bill Parcells, Tom Coughlin, now Brian Dable. You Giant fans, and I'm one too. I'm diehard Jets. Diehard Jets all day long. But I do like the Giants. I grew up in a New York Giants household. And one thing my father always told me, my big rebellion was I'm going to be a Jet fan. That was my big rebellion when I was a kid. The Jets had the sack exchange. Gastineau, Abdul Salam, Klecko, Marty Lyons. They had Lance Mel and Darryl Ray, Kirk Springs. We had a defense. One thing my father told me, the Jets get the back pages, the Giants get the rings. It's still true to this day. Still true to this day. The Jets get the back pages, they make all the noise, the Giants get the rings. My rebellion is in my 50s, and I'm still living my rebellion right here. The only thing I ever stuck to in my life growing up. But I do pull for the Giants. I really do. They have stolen my heart. I've always liked the Giants. Just became a Jet fan. That's how I became one. I came from a complete New York Giant household. And thankfully, my son has followed the family footsteps and is a New York Giant fan himself. There's only myself and 2 of my cousins that are Jet fans. And that's it. That's it. Everybody else is a Giants fan. So, guys, listen to me. Daniel Jones, if Brian Dable sees it, and look what he's done with Josh Allen. Brian Dable, you got to trust the system. Jim Schoen, hey, brought in Darren Waller. Yeah, he's gotten injured. I think he's played in 20 of his last 34 games. He's looking really good in camp right now. He's getting a lot of high remarks, and you got to take a risk on somebody like that. The Giants could use a good tight end. Like Mark Bavaro. Remember Mark Bavaro for you older guys like myself? The Giants understand developing quarterbacks. Like the Pittsburgh Steelers never fire a coach. Never fire a coach. By the way, Daniel Jones has never had more interceptions than touchdowns in a year. Never. Lastly on Daniel Jones, his fumbling has gone way down. Remember he was Danny Dimes, and we used to call him Danny Loose Change. Danny Loose Change. Not anymore. He had 18 fumbles in his first year, as you see. Lost 11. Look at under Brian Dable. 6 fumbles. Only 3 lost. Look how far it's gone down. His numbers were insane last year. 3,200 yards, 15 touchdowns, only 5 picks, 92.5 quarterback rating. Wow. You guys got a quarterback here. Is he going to be an elite quarterback? As of right now, I wouldn't call him elite. He's definitely top 10. Definitely top 10 in the league. You go down to all the lists, how many quarterbacks are you going to take over Daniel Jones? You could probably think of a few of them, but not a lot. It's not a lot. Many teams out there would die to have a Daniel Jones. I would have taken him over any of these horrendous draft picks the Jets quarterbacks have ever taken. Do you know that the Jets have had 2 winning quarterbacks that they drafted? 2. Chad Pennington, Mark Sanchez. True story, not even Joe Namath. Joe Namath gets a pass because he won the Super Bowl. Whatever. Chad Pennington and Daniel Jones. Chad Pennington and Mark Sanchez are the only 2 drafted quarterbacks by the Jets with winning records. Think about that. From Joe Namath on, they're the only 2. Honorable mention to Pat Ryan, who was drafted in 1978. Pat Ryan was a quarterback on the Jets forever. He was primarily a backup, but if you want to get technical on me and drop in the comments, Johnny, what about Pat Ryan? He was 11-8 as a Jets starter. Yes, the only time he technically started for the Jets was 1984. He was 6-5 in that season, started 11 games. He 14 touchdowns to 14 picks. He backed up Ken O'Brien for most of his career, and of course Richard Todd. The other Alabama, you can't strike lightning twice. There you got Joe Namath. Richard Todd was not Joe Namath, another Alabama quarterback. Interestingly enough, if you'd like to know, before Jalen Hurts, Richard Todd was the last Alabama quarterback to win in a playoff game. And that was in 1982 against the Los Angeles Raiders in Los Angeles. Before the 3-interception game to A.J. Dewey in the Miami Dolphin game. Anyway, I'm tailing way off on Jet stuff, but I thought that was interesting to tell you guys. The Giants let their quarterbacks develop. When they see they got something working, they let them develop. Daniel Jones has something working. We see it in the numbers, even from when he first came in the league, and all those rookie records for the Giants that he made, the Giants rookie records. Brian Dable's got it down, guys. Let's see what happens. Let's see if he's going to be elite. Drop your comments down below. Subscribe and bell notice. I can't wait to hear from the Giant fans and hear what your thoughts are on Daniel Jones. And if you do have an elite quarterback on there, and I'm going to do a Saquon Barkley and the whole running back thing. I'm going to do a whole separate thing on that. And Micah Parsons is not Lawrence Taylor. We're doing one on that as well. He is not Lawrence Taylor. Subscribe, bell notice, like button, guys. I'm Johnny Baseman, and I am out.